Making a pinecone turkey for Thanksgiving is like a classic craft for kids. I can't believe we haven't done this already. All ages are going to love adding a fanned tail to their turkey pinecones, and the free pattern makes it even easier for you. Copy your pattern off. I like to use cardstock, but I went ahead and cut mine out, and I have these pattern pieces ready to go. I'm just going to use some scraps of paper that I have. I'm going to make feathers out of a lot of these prints. I'm going to make the base and feet out of this dark orange. I'll be gluing the pinecone onto this base. I'm also going to make the wattle out of that. The wattle is the little thing that hangs down underneath the turkey's beak. Usually they're red, but I'm going to just use this orange. I'm going to make the beak out of this brighter orange. These could be print papers, construction paper, anything that you have will work. I'm going to keep my pieces here where I can remember where they are. The head is going to be out of this dark brown. I'm going to draw it on the back where it'll be easier to see. Now these are my feather pieces. There's a larger, a medium, and a small. I'm going to cut several large, medium, and small, and they're going to stick in the back of the pine cone. So of course the larger ones are going to go to the back, the mediums in the middle, and the smaller ones in front with the head and wattle on the front. So I'm stacking several pieces of paper so I can cut several feathers at one time. I've got 4 pieces here, and these are going to be the back feathers. They're going to be larger. You can draw them on if you'd like, or just cut them directly off the paper. They don't have to be perfect. You can cut as accurately as possible, but if they're just a little off, that's okay. So I think altogether there's 12 there that I just cut. Let's see, maybe I can get one more out of here. I don't think I'll need that many, but then I'll have some extras. So I'm going to keep those separate as my larger feathers. Let's move on to some middle feathers, and I'm going to make these little bit lighter colors here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut 4 at a time, and this is a middle feather. Okay, those are my middle feathers. Lastly, I'm going to do the up close feathers, and I'm going to use these blue papers. Okay, here it is. All right, so I need to keep these separate. Front, middle, and back feathers. So let's get going putting it together. The first thing I'm going to do is glue my pine cone to my base, like this. I'm going to be using hot glue. Be very careful. I'm not exactly sure where these are going to hit on there, so I'm going to just put quite a bit of glue on there and then set it on and let it cool. Let's put together the face next. Now I could probably do this with a glue stick, but since I'm using hot glue, that's what I'm going to go ahead and use. I've got my head, and the first thing I'm going to put on is the wattle that goes underneath this beak piece. So I'm going to start about halfway down this head part. Just put a little bit of hot glue on here. Won't take much. Then I'm going to fold my beak in half, and the part that I'm going to glue down is the bottom part of the beak right here, and then the top part will open up as if he is talking to you, saying gobble, right? So I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue on the back of the beak and set that on the top of the wattle right there. And of course, our favorite part is our googly eyes. Just put 2 little dots of hot glue and drop those on top very carefully. Oh, I love googly eyes. They're so funny. And there we have his face. Now his face is going to go right on the front of the turkey, and this is in the way from keeping it from hooking on there. I'm going to break that top one off so that I can glue this right here. I can put a little glue right here. Making sure that there's some contact between the paper and that hot glue. I'm going to drop a little bit more back behind here. There. He's looking pretty good. Now we're going to use these feathers to stick in the back and the middle and the front of these little openings between these pieces of the pine cone. So these are my back feathers, and I'm going to be gluing and sticking them in this back area and making sure I like the way it looks. I'm going to try to get them so they're not all in a row. There, that looks nice. So I'm going to put another piece of paper underneath my turkey in case the glue drips. Ready? I'm excited. I think I'm going to put a little glue on here and then stick it down in here. Let's try that. Putting a little bit on each side and then just sticking it down between those little partition pieces. One of you can tell me what they're called. Okay, so there's the back pieces in there. That's very nice and full. In fact, you could leave it that way if you want and not even use any of the other pieces. I'm going to go ahead and add a few more. Keep those larger ones to the back so I don't mix them up. And next are going to be these little lighter color ones for the middle area. All right, I'm not going to add as many of these middle ones in. I made a lot of extra I didn't need, but I think that's getting full enough, don't you? All right, put these middle ones back here so I don't get them mixed up. Then I'm going to use just a few of these blue ones in the front. They're the shortest yet, and they're going to go just here and there just to add a little more fullness and a little more color. Can you see they're even shorter yet? You're going to love learning how to make pinecone turkey for Thanksgiving, and the free pattern makes it even easier. For more great Thanksgiving ideas, come on over to welcometananas.com and join the fun.